This is officially episode 92 of Manifest Mondays. We got my guy Zenas in the building.
Yes,
We
sir.
got my guy DG in the building.
We here,
And we
man.
got myself Ramond, man. And we gonna switch it. We had a topic for the day, but we're gonna switch it because it makes sense, man. We're just gonna talk about basically the culture of being a nerd in the
Yeah,
black culture. I think is specifically there's something to touch on there. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
like, let's kick it off there, man. Like growing up, like what did nerd mean to y'all? Like growing up?
Square, lame, not cool. You
Square,
don't get
lane.
girls. You're not fly. You're not cute. All the negative things, bro. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't want to be your
Yeah,
friends, you know. But as I got older, bro, like realizing that being a nerd is actually dope, right? Because if you
Mm-hmm.
look at like all the top entrepreneurs, you know, like the Elon, the Bill Gates, and the Mark Jeff Bezos, bro. They are nerds, and they're the one who run the world right now. And now they got swag, and now you got what's the name,
Right.
Zuckerberg
yeah.
hanging out with T-Pain, sunglasses and all that stuff, right? Making music.
Boy, Mark Zuckerberg, his glow up is crazy. I'm like, fam, what is happening? That is crazy.
And it's so crazy, bro. Especially in the black community, bro. You get make fun of for being smart. It's so fucking
Yeah.
stupid, bro. Like
Yeah,
you a smart kid in class, and then people make fun of you. You a nerd, and
yeah,
then
Yeah.
kids growing up, right? You're like, oh shit, like I can be smart because people gonna think I'm not cool.
yeah,
But what I'm trying to say is like we realize you start getting older, bro. Like being a nerd is actually not a bad thing. To me, it's actually dope
yeah,
because you can be a nerd, like just be. To me, I think a nerd is just somebody who focus on like on the grind, right? He got his
Yep.
purpose. He know what he want to be, and instead of like him like following all the bullshit, he just locked in,
yeah,
maybe on his studies or whatever it is that he's trying to pursue. And
yeah,
that's for me. I think that's a good thing. That's
yeah.
overall
Absolutely.
betterment for the society overall.
Yeah. I think nerds were just early to the game, right? We
There you
always talk
go.
about
Yep.
we talk about what season it is right now. It's lock-in season. Man,
Right.
we all know a nerd from back in the day who was like always just tapped into studies. And it's
Locked
funny
in.
because everybody knows like the bullies and whatnot that be like, look at this lame ass over here studying, actually doing his homework. Look, what
Yeah.
like what? That's crazy. He over here A plus student ass.
Right.
Like oh honor roll student ass. Like everybody has experienced that. And it's just like that's so crazy to think about that you can be uncool for being intelligent, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the stigma that I think needs to change more than anything. Like this whole idea of my question then is just like is blackness associated with like ignorance and being dumb? Then I'm like if that's what's cool, right? I'm like is that the image that we're trying to project in, right? Like because to your point, DG, like I think a lot of the most successful people are nerds, and I think there's people who have shared their stories.
Right,
Obviously within the black culture, like a Childish Gambino, right? A Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan might be a heartthrob now, but like when he was growing up, he was like, man, everybody thought I was like a nerd. Like I was just like,
right,
like just always about my business and always on my shit, like type of thing. And like I said, I think nerds are just like ahead of the game. Like they were a step
right,
ahead and they just knew that like at the end of the day, like I know that I gotta like tap in because this is exactly
right,
like what's gonna get me to where I want to be, right?
right,
So we definitely need to start shifting that narrative expeditiously.
And
for
I think,
sure.
it's funny when we talk about nerd when you're young, we definitely like nothing was cool about it, right? But like as you start growing, you kind of as we think about all the moguls that we can think of, right? Like
Right,
a couple that came to my head, like Jay-Z,
right,
um, Nipsey Hussle, right? Like
right.
we know that they're intelligent. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
Fact.
saying?
Right,
But those two in particular probably just were actually cool and intelligent at the same time. So when we talk about nerd, are we getting on them actually for being smart, or is it uncool too when they're young? Like how, you know what I mean?
hmm
Like, is it like, cause I'm sure Jay-Z was probably like smart in high school. And
right.
I know I heard stories of like, Nipsey Hussle like building a computer in high school, and that was the same computer he ended up
Damn,
rapping on.
that's
You know what
dope.
I'm saying? Like getting different pieces and building a computer. So is it like the uncool part that we're speaking to, or is it like, or are we actually shaming intelligence?
To me, to be honest, bro, I would say shame and intelligence, bro. Because even imagine, man, whenever you're trying to speak proper, they're like, "Oh, why are you trying to be white? Like, why can't I just be a black person that speak good? Like, why does being black has to be with ignorance, right? And like, they make fun of you, right? Oh, you're a nerd. Like, it's not cool, you know. I think, to me personally, bro, it's like they're making fun of intelligence, like, and to me though, also too, though, it's like. I think when people are at a certain level, whenever you're trying to elevate, that's their way of trying to like bring you down. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because
yeah.
then they, oh, you smart. Then, because they know for sure, bro. They know you're gonna do better one day, right? So at the
Hmm.
end of the day, they're trying to like bring you down. They're trying to feel good about themselves. Or you lame, you square, and all those names and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, they know that you're onto something. You know, especially in
Hmm.
the black community. Because I feel like whenever you focus, you're trying to be like on your grind, your goals, especially kids in high school, bro. They make fun of you. They call you
Hmm.
nerd. You're a nerd. Why you being a nerd? You know, like why can't I just be me? And also, just being black, bro. I think we are sometimes put into a box, right? You got to be an athlete. You got to do this. So whenever you deviate from that norm, they look at you like, why are you not this? You
Yeah.
know, like I see it too, bro. I was actually offended one day. I was actually in LSC, and it was like, you know, how do you call that when the parents and stuff come to campus? How do you call that?
Like,
Oh,
yeah, the
yeah.
welcome days and
Homecoming,
like
homecoming,
homecoming. Okay,
whatever.
homecoming.
Yeah.
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 And this dude, you know, he just told me to fucking getting books. He asked me if I play sports. I was kind of mad. Like, you think that's the only thing that comes to mind? I play sports. Why do you think I'm not here for something else besides sports, right? You
Hmm.
know, especially being black. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe that just means I'm athletic. But the fact that's the only thing that comes to mind, just sports only. It's just like, bro, I can do so many things. Why if I'm an engineer? Why if I'm a scientist? Like, why do you guys just have to associate sports, bro? And I think just like being a nerd, right? They just put you in the box. This is all you do, but like I think you can still be a nerd and have a lot going on for yourself, bro. You can still be a nerd and they enjoy music. You can still be a nerd and be cool. Being a
Hmm.
nerd doesn't always mean that you're a lame person. Because that's why as we got older, bro. I was like technically, because I always been about school, bro. So I was like, quote unquote, I was a nerd, but like I think I was a cool nerd, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, you know. So I just think, just like in the black community, bro, we just like shame intelligence. Whenever you're trying to like do something different, you're not trying to like follow like the stereotypical or things that quote unquote black people do. They look at you different.
Yeah. I think we stereotype a lot, even ourselves, right? I think
Hmm.
it's like if you think of a black, if you for that same example, right? If you told somebody that you had a scholarship, the first thing they're gonna assume is, oh, you what
Sports,
sport you play, right?
Hmm.
They're not gonna think that it's an academic scholarship, right? It's
right,
like, oh no, like what sport you play? What you play football? Well,
right,
like you out you out there hitting the hole, man. Like what you got going on
right,
over there, man? You
right.
know, um, and to the point of what you said, DG, just as far as when you I personally used to go through that all the time when I was growing up, right? Like when I would actually talk like a norm, like I would just talk
Talk
sophisticated, I
normal,
guess I
yeah,
should say. Like, they would be like, "Why are you trying to sound white?" Like, and I'm just like,
yeah,
man, like I don't want to sound dumb, like, like, right, like I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
so like that's always something that personally always used to like piss me off when I was younger. Um, was I never wanted to be associated with like any type of like ignorance or sounding dumb. Like just me
Right.
myself personally. Like I just that always
Yeah.
frustrated me where like people would say like, oh, like you're talking white. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking white. I'm just like I can't just sound educated, like right?
Right.
Like what's wrong with that? Right? And people would always like challenge that. It's just like, oh, like you a lame. Like what, why can't you talk regular? And I'm like, like, fam, like
What's
what?
regular? Exactly. What's
like,
regular?
fam, like what?
Yeah. What's
I can't you
Define
talk regular as
regular.
well.
Define regular, fam. Like you want me to talk like you? Like, and I'm just like,
yeah.
that's crazy. Right? I think that's a big reason why personally, like, and y'all know, I talk about this all the time. I don't use the N word anymore, right? Like
Right.
I haven't used the N
Mhm.
word personally in like 8 years. I can specifically remember the last time I used the N word, and I
That's
think what
dope.
changed my perspective on that forever was Shout out to Blaine Harding. He was a dope professor at CSU.
I
But
remember him.
when he gave his speech, "The Power of Words," like it really like changed my entire perspective, like how I thought and perceived like what you put out into the world, specifically like what you speak on, right? You know, like and what you want to be associated with. And so I knew that I didn't want to be associated because I just feel like I know like it's supposed to be a term of endearment, but I feel like oftentimes like it gets skewed to where it sounds
Right.
like it's associated with ignorance more than anything, right? Especially in like
Absolutely.
today's like music and stuff like that, like and even like like back in the day and stuff like that. I know we were originally going to talk about the state of music, but that's a story for another day anyways. But I think it always really used to like bother me when I was younger, like that I couldn't just have an expansive vocabulary or just like sound educated and just like be myself. I had to be a nerd or I had to be like a lame or a weirdo. And it's just like, nah,
Right.
like, fam, like I'm still kicking it with like a lot of the circles that y'all talking about. Like, like I
Right.
still, would kick it with the jocks, like I still would like the I almost felt like in high school, like it almost prepped me for the professional world because I feel like I had to code switch in like school, like when I was going through different like. I was always the type of person I could like be. I don't know if y'all can relate, but like I could be friends with anybody. Like I have white
Facts.
friends, I have black friends, I have Mexican friends, brown friends, whatever it is. Like I have friends. I was just able to make friends with everybody. Right? Like and just being able to. Um, Understand how to communicate well with like different people and just being able to meet people at their level, right? But to your point, DG, when people can't meet you at your level, they always try to bring you down, right? And that's why I think they try
Facts.
to demean your intelligence by saying, "Oh, you a lame," right? Because they got nothing
Right.
else on you, right? It's just like
Right.
they know you got better grades than them. They know you
Exactly.
probably gonna get a better job than them. They know like so the only other thing they could resort to is just like, oh, like let me hurt this motherfucker's feelings and like, make him feel
Right.
like shit. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, we all know it. Like it's just a part of life. It's a part of childhood. We all go through it.
Facts.
But it's
Yep.
crazy, man. I think it's so nuts that we demean intelligence or at least attempt to.
Yeah. And what you saying too, man, I think it's like a lot of times people that may not be as smart try to level the playing field. You know what I mean? Because usually when they're younger, they have like the things that the smart kid might even want. Like some of the nerds might want, right? Like they might have the girls, they might
Hmm.
have the popularity, they might, like you don't think that big when you're young, right? Like
Yeah.
you
Right.
probably just want some friends, some girls, and a little popularity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like to be honest, it's hard to think huge when you're still like your mind's still developing, right? So I think at that point, some people use it to kind of level the playing field of like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
I don't care about that like little, you know what I'm saying? That little smart shit you talking about. I don't, you know what I'm saying? We doing all kind of, what I mean? We partying, we doing all kind of, you know what I'm saying? And we probably all was a part, probably ones that like wasn't like full nerd either though. Like we
Right.
probably was
Right.
like
Yeah.
in the middle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I know all of us was probably like cool enough to be in both circles,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
Yeah.
we knew some nerds, but like, and then we always knew, on the cool side, and probably even leaned a little more on the cool side, like just where the
Yeah.
more the
Right.
cool people knew us. But there was probably nerds that we knew and was cool with that probably couldn't kick it with none of the people that on the
Right.
other
That.
side at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Z said, we could probably walk both sides, but um it's that thing. I'm with Z on the sense of like when I was young, and still to this day, that's one of my worst things. Is like when people like downplay my intelligence, like kind of
Right.
treat me like I'm dumb. Like, bro, I'm not. Like, let's not do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I am not
Yeah.
stupid, bro. Like, that's one of
Right.
the things that like I'm a cool laid back dude. That's one of the things that really gets on my nerves. Like when
Yeah.
people
Right.
like act like I'm dumb. You know what I mean? Because I know,
Right.
like we're bright individuals, man. You know what I'm saying? I know that, Um,
Facts. And
yeah, so
also
I
too,
not
go ahead,
I'll go
Ramon.
ahead, DJ. Go ahead. No,
No,
that's
also
that's my point.
what I was trying to say too, that like people who are like quote unquote was called nerds, sometimes they're just introvert, bro. They're not like, they're just like people
Mhm.
who lack social skills, all right? Because sometimes
Yeah.
not everyone want to be the life of the party. Sometimes people just want to chill, and then sometimes the nerds are like the people who lack social skills. Just
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes they'll open up to you on when you start a conversation, right? But most of the time, like we just like, oh my god, you're a nerd. I don't want to hang out with you. And also in the black community too, though, the same thing with females too, bro. When you quote unquote a nerd, right? They don't want to talk to you. Like the girls are not trying to talk to the smart dudes and all that stuff. They're trying to talk to like the guys who like all these doing all the extra shit. But then when times goes by, when you get older, now they're not checking for those
That's
guys no
it,
more.
man. That's it,
Now they're
man.
checking out for the guys who are smart, the engineers, the doctors,
Yeah,
all these guys who got bread. It's crazy how the table turns. Oh, now back then you didn't want me,
yeah.
right? Was it like Mike Jones,
Now hot,
whatever?
now hot,
Back
they
then,
all
hoes
over
didn't want me. Now I'm high, hoes don't want me.
It's crazy though, because I'm like, shouldn't not, I don't know, shouldn't not be your preference, like someone who is like smart, intelligent, but apparently like you see all the culture though, they gravitate towards that more. But especially in the black community, bro, what I've learned, what I've seen, I might be wrong on this. I think like we glorify the people like not, I'm not gonna say we glorify people who are not intelligent, but like we kind of like downplay on like people who are smart, especially at an early age, right? Like you're not cool. Like people don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to the dudes who are popular, who got all the extra shit going on. But he's up to no good. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tyrone, whatever you want to call it, right? But at the end of the day,
Man,
they
shout out
downplay.
Tyrone, man. Shout out Tyrone. I hope he good.
Shout
Shout
out to
out
Tyrone.
Tyrone, man.
And that, bro, they're downplayed though. You know that guy would be good for you. But you want this other guy that's gonna like play you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But that's who you focus on. It's just crazy to think about that. Especially,
yeah,
I noticed that a lot more in the black community, bro, than
yeah.
any other community for
Yeah.
sure.
And I mean, I want to preface all this by saying we got to give everybody some grace, right? Like our people and whatnot as well. Like I think growing up, to your point, Ramona, what you said earlier is when we're young, you don't know really like any better, like right? There's only so big that you think, so big that you dream, and so oftentimes like we're not so forward thinking,
Right,
right? Where it's just like, oh, when I'm 25, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna start my own LLC, right? I'm gonna have like 12 employees under me, and whatnot. I'm gonna be running like a $700,000 annual business, those types of things. Those
shit.
aren't really things that you were like are processing at like 15 years old, right? To the point, you just trying to be cool and just like fit in. You're trying to find your place. I think that's also a huge part of childhood and growing up is truly finding out your place and figuring out
Facts.
what that looks like for you. And a lot of it is trial and error, right?
Right,
You're trying shit and meeting people and doing things and whatnot, and you have the ability to do it while you're young because you can fuck up and it not be like so disastrous, right?
right.
At our age, like if you fuck up severely, like it might really put you in a hole, man. Like
Yeah,
we've
for
seen
sure.
it live with one of our friends, right? Like I'm not gonna say no names, but like
Right,
right, like we've seen what the detriment that it could have to you and your
right,
reputation and whatnot. And so um I do want to preface it by just saying, of course, like you got to give grace and whatnot, but at that same time, we do have to have that level of accountability and just holding ourselves as
right,
individuals and as people better to better standards. I think more than
right,
anything, like right, I think it's really anyone knows shit like when my kids grow up, they definitely gonna be playing sports. Like that's all. I
right,
think that's where like a lot of people default to, and there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, I think it's allowing your kids and whatever to try different things, right? But like don't always just push so heavily on like what we glorify, to
right,
be a rapper, to be
right,
an athlete, like there's
right,
nothing wrong with being a doctor,
right,
being a lawyer, right? Being
right,
an architect, those types of things. Shout out
right,
to Bunifa, right? Like there's
right,
so many different things that you can do and so many different outlets that you can tap into. Like I just hope people start embracing that and pushing their kids
right,
and the people that they know around them to like think outside the
right,
box and break those
right,
narratives of like you just gotta be this to be
right,
successful or to the words of what we said earlier to be cool, right? In
right,
order to be cool you got to be an athlete, right? You got to be
right.
this.
Fat. You gotta
I
be
know
that. Yeah.
a prime example. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. nobody thought investing was cool until they started like, like really like reshaping the narrative, right? They
Right.
started shifting. Like now you see people like what's his name? Damn, we met him out in Atlanta last year. What was his name?
CEO Matty J.
Terrence.
CEO Matty J. Right? Like
Right.
see anyone who's met CEO Matty J, the brother swaggy. Like he's cool,
Right.
right? He
Yeah,
cool as hell. But there's no way that you could go into a conversation with him and not be like and ever like downplay his intelligence. You'd be like, damn, this motherfucker really talking that talk. Like, he
Yeah.
knows
yeah,
exactly what he's talking about,
Right.
right? But that wasn't the case, 10, 15 years ago, right? Like, so I applaud people like EYL who are pushing narratives and breaking those molds, and ultimately just setting ourselves up for success in the long term.
Right.
yeah. And one thing I want to touch on this, Z, that's a great point, man. Sometimes you don't even see that until you get older. See that other, like you said, see somebody like a CEO Matty J, or
Right.
like we all knew people, some people that was like cool and smart being young. But I feel like what happens is a lot is, especially in the black community as we talking about it, is like the people that are actually smart but a little bit of cool too, like end up trying to downplay the smartness. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah,
kind of like capping it off at a certain point just to
Right.
just to kind of fit in certain circles. Like you said, high school is hard because you really just trying to fit in sometimes, and
Right.
sometimes you like are capping off, some of your intelligence just to kick it. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And I honestly think when I really think about it, is like some of those young, super like hyper intelligent kids are like so hyper intelligent that it's hard for them to communicate with other kids, and that's
Right.
why it makes them almost like, you know
awkward.
what I mean, like awkward, and
Right.
I don't know what to say. If I really tell you what I'm saying, is the conversation's gonna be weird. Like it really is. Like what I'm
Yeah,
really thinking is like it's gonna be weird if I say
Right.
this and you're like,
Right.
what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know. But another piece I wanted to just to add on the other side of this conversation is there are still really good things that you can take from the other side of like sports things and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like the
I
the
agree. I
discipline,
agree.
working with a
absolutely.
team, knowing how to work together, and
Yeah,
things like this. There's things that you
Right.
still can take from sports, but
Right.
I wonder if you're getting some of those same things from the intelligence side. There probably is, like maybe like
yeah,
Right.
desk
Right.
club, you know what I'm saying, and certain
yeah,
things, but
Right.
you know, it's like, sometimes that's a little bit missed, man. So
yeah,
Right. No, I agree. Shout out to Z. You brought up a really good point though. It's not. It's more to just what you want to do when you get older than just being a rapper, being a musician, being an artist, whatever, right? Because
mhm,
I'll argue, also you have a higher probability of becoming something else than becoming the next LeBron James. Because like, how many people
sure.
actually make it to the NBA? So you're pursuing this field, whatever career path that just very few people make it, in that career path. That you can like become an entrepreneur, so many other things that you can become that has a higher probability, right? But just overall
Mhm.
in the black culture, bro, in the community, I think we're just like kids, like, oh, you gotta be an athlete, you gotta be an entertainer. Like, those are the things that is pushed, right? It's not say, oh, you can be a businessman, you can be a CEO, you can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, you can do all these things. Being black is just not about athletics, right? It's not just about
mhm,
entertainment. There's so many things that we can do, bro. And I just feel like that's what has been pushed to us as kids growing up. Like, oh shit, I gotta be an athlete, I gotta be a soccer player, I gotta be an NBA player. But your chances of you making it to that in the NFL, bro, is
yeah,
harder. You have a higher probability of becoming the next CEO of Red Lobster. Shout out to the dude, the CEO of Red Lobster. I heard he's a black dude. He's
mhm,
like
Fire.
35,
And I heard
around
he's
our
been
age.
turning things around too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
heard a
so
little
shout
bit
out to
about that.
him,
Yeah,
bro. Like that's kind
yeah,
of like I feel like those narratives not push onto us, right? Because I feel like if you're a black kid growing up, right, if the media is talking about, oh, the Red Lobster CEO is black, he's 35, you're like, God damn, I can be a CEO too.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong. You made a really great point, Ramon. There's nothing wrong about sports. You can learn a lot of things about sports and all that too. But I think
mhm,
it shouldn't be the only thing that is
yep,
pushed around. We should
yeah,
be
that's a
shown these
fact.
other things like, oh,
yeah,
Robert F. Smith, he's a billionaire. He's from Colorado. He's an investment banker. You can do these things too. Just because you're
Mm,
black, you don't always have to be an athlete. You can be a lawyer. You can do all the extra things. Then I can decide what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Maybe I feel like I love sports a lot more. This is what I'm passionate about than being
yeah,
a fucking engineer. But I just think nowadays, just whatever is pushing on is just more about entertainment and like sports and all that stuff, and not just like diminish like our potential, bro. We can do way more than
Yeah,
just sports and entertainment.
yeah. I think it's really just about the openness of just being able to explore. Don't
Right,
limit like your kids. Don't limit the people around you to like whatever you think they can do, right? Like if people feel like they're capable of something, like we need to get more into the habit of speaking life
right,
into people. Speak life into that. It's just like, nah, you got to focus on this, right? Like it's just like cool. Like at the end of the day, especially like when you're young, that's the
right,
opportunity to try things. Because like I said, I mean that's the opportunity to make mistakes and just try shit. If it doesn't work out, you can just keep it pushing and go on to the next thing, right? Um, when you're older, like in your 40s, you don't want to like necessarily I will say like there's no cap on like when you can make it. You can truly
right,
make it at any age. But a
right,
44-year old is gonna be moving a lot differently than like a 16-year old. Like you can't be like just hopping from every idea to the next idea and it's just like, well shit, if this didn't work, so I'm on to the next thing. It just it doesn't make sense, right? Like at the end of the day we always talk about make it make sense, right? And so um when you're younger, it's I just to that point, like just encourage people to explore and truly figure things out. Because now you can be like the president of the United States. Shout out to Barack
right,
Obama, man. Like like
right,
no one in their right mind thought a black man would ever be president. Right? Like, but we saw that in our lifetime, and I will say, like, we've seen a lot of dope shit in our lifetime. Right? We still got way further to go. I think more than anything, but we're now seeing people, like I said, the EYLs, the Barack Obamas, the CEO, Matty J's, like all the people that we've been referencing, the Robert F. Smiths, who are changing the narratives, right?
right.
Or at least shifting them, right? Like
Correct.
they maybe haven't completely changed the narratives, but they are shifting, like right,
Right,
and that's really the goal.
right,
Yeah. I something that I think about often is even I love this concept a lot, like so much that I even made a song about it, right?
Yep.
Smart Guy, right?
Shout
I
out to
made
the
a
right,
I
smart
made
guy.
a song called Smart Guy talking about this exact thing. And I want like two people that I touched on in it is like people like Childish Gambino and Jordan Peele. Some of
right,
the probably the greatest minds even in the creative space of, Jordan Peele doing everything from stand up to Key and Peele to horror films and just like a
right,
great mind in the space. And Childish Gambino, he's touching everything. He got shows, music, all these different things. But I'm sure growing up, they were not probably considered the coolest dudes. Childish
right,
Gambino, I heard him even in the interview. He was just like, I didn't have a bunch of friends, and he said, I didn't even lose my virginity till I was like a junior in college. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
Yeah.
when you're young, it's hard to lean into that. Like when you said, everybody else is thinking only up to a cap, and they think
right,
that is your world at a certain point. High school is your whole world is at
right,
that point. So what I think we are doing and need to continue to doing is just really just speaking, like I said, speaking life into the young dudes and just encouraging them, like, don't downplay that intelligence, like lean into
right,
those things for real, like,
right,
try that shit and like lean into it though, man. I know it's gonna be hard
right,
when you're young. And one thing I wanted to say, like publicly on here, if y'all young and y'all ever see something like this, get into AI. That's what you really should be getting into right now,
facts.
man.
No, for
If
real,
you're smart, if
absolutely.
you're thinking about different things, AI and automation right now, if some I wish somebody would have told me that when if I was in high school now, somebody would told me that, like, get into AI now, figure out you can take some courses. I'm sure that you could probably even talk to your school and be like, can I get certain credits to still do like other programs in AI,
Right,
because they always have stuff like that. But getting into that now, I think in the future is going to set you up in a major way, man. So yeah,
right.
lean into that intelligence for real.
Yeah.
Facts. And also, like, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. If you were playing football in high school, yeah, that's dope. You might make it to the NFL, but the chances of you making to the NFL is that probably is a lot lower. If you get like going back to what Ramon said, if you get into AI, whatever technology right now, you have a higher chances that when you get older to find something dope and create a good career path.
Hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with playing sports, right? And that you gotta like be smart about it, right? The window of you becoming the next LeBron, the next Jalen Hurts, right? Patrick Mahomes. That shit is so slim. It could happen, but it probably is so low. So academics are important too, right? Like Ramon said, get into AI, technology, learn. Focus on school, man. Those things gonna get you there.
Yeah.
Because with way more to life than sports. Because I end of the day, think about it too. Like with sports, it's just a certain time after. Because like we're technically young, but we are old when it comes to sports.
For
It's
sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
We're
They'd be like,
done.
well, if we was in the league right now, they'd be like, Ramon old as hell, boys. That boy
You
needs
know what I'm saying?
this.
We're old,
Ramon
bro. So,
old as hell.
Facts.
But then you go to somewhere like InvestFest and you might be
right.
considered like super young, man. So
Right, right.
yeah,
Imagine as a young kid, you spend your entire life trying to make it to the NFL. And then God forbid, you say follow your dreams. That's
Yeah.
dope. But at the end of the day, you gotta think about what you're trying to follow too as well. What's
Yeah.
the chance of you making it to the NFL? Because like it's very competitive. Very few people are making it there. But when it comes to investment, business, like we all can do that.
Yeah.
Because we're all doing that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're all doing everything we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So you have a higher chances of like you succeeding when it comes to business, entrepreneurship than when it comes to athletic. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
And that being said, like I don't want to just sit here and like bash athletes in sports.
Well,
Like
I'm not.
it's
It's
just
not bashing though.
I know we're not. Like I'm not trying to make it sound like we just out here like, oh no, y'all can't be athletes no more. Like of course, I think really what we're trying to say is find whatever fills your cup and lean into
right,
that. Right? And
right,
don't be afraid of whether or not that is something that fits into the stereotype or not. Like just
right,
it doesn't matter.
right,
Um, believe in yourself, speak life into other people, right? More than anything, because anything is possible as long as you're willing to put in the effort, and if it's something that fills your cup, if it's something that like is truly like purposeful in your life, I think that's what makes it easier to pursue because
right,
transparently, like like I'm in music, I'm a DJ, like I'm a producer,
right,
all this stuff, so like yeah, like there is maybe a particular stereotype that I fit into, but like that's also like what I love, and that's like what gives my
right,
life purpose, and
right,
that's the reason why I'm pursuing it, and will continue to pursue it until until I kick the bucket, right at the end of the
right.
day. But I also recognize that there's still other ways to be great outside of music too, right? Like there's
Facts.
ways to be a great investor. There's ways to be a great, a friend, a businessman. Like all
Right,
these things. Like there's so many levels, so many different like caveats to really figuring out how to make this grand scheme of things work. And I think in a lot of ways we always think it's so like one track minded, but like like
right,
we think there's this one linear path, but there's much more to it, but like I said, I think the biggest thing is it all starts with you and like whatever fills your cup, more than anything. Because at the end of the day, if you're just doing something that you hate, right,
right,
and you might make a living out of it, right,
right,
but it's just like, are you truly gonna feel fulfilled? I feel like that's where people be on their deathbeds and be talking about like, oh man, I regret this and I regret that.
right,
I can assure you, when I'm on my deathbed, I will have no regrets, no,
right,
yeah.
not a single regret. Like I think we've gone out of our way to try damn near everything that we've ever wanted to, like, and have succeeded, have failed, anything and everything in between. But I think that repetition, it gives us more motivation and confidence to continue walking the path that we are, and holding our heads high, knowing that like ultimately, I know we are capable of whatever it is that we want
Oh
to
yeah.
do. All right.
Facts.
But at the end of the day, like I said, it starts with us, and ultimately that fulfillment.
I
Right,
want to touch on that piece, bro, because you hit on a really great piece, man. And that's exactly what we're saying. Like, if that is the thing that you love, if sports is, like, be a nerd about that. Like,
Yeah.
you
right,
know what I'm saying? Be a
right,
nerd of the craft then. If music really is your thing, then be a nerd about the craft. I think when we think about like sports specifically, Diamond, like you were saying, is you might think like as far as you can think may be like LeBron, right?
right,
But there's a Belichick too. You know
right,
what I'm saying? There's like a, you know what I'm saying? There's great coaches. There's great,
right,
you know what I'm saying? Like being a nerd about your craft, even if like there's other positions. How many positions does actually, the Lakers actually have?
right,
There's only a couple players, but they
right,
probably have like, they probably hire like 100 something people, hundreds of people that's on the Lakers staff. You could
right,
be you could be a trainer, you could, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of these things being, even if you did go that route and you just like, I just love basketball since I was a kid, and
Right,
be a nerd about it then.
right,
And then if you don't reach the level of like LeBron, you might be like a sports medicine person that, works on, your
right,
favorite team that you always wanted to go to, but just
right.
sometimes think bigger
Yeah,
I
is what
agree.
we're
yeah,
pushing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Now it's kind of like go back to what we are saying too. Like, yeah, you can still pursue sports, but at the same time, you can be smart about it too. You can pursue a
Yep.
degree while you're pursuing sports.
Mm-hmm.
That way you're learning something. Like you talked about sports medicine. That comes with like focus, studying, all that stuff too. So you can do both, right? But my thing is just don't neglect that academic part too while you're pursuing those things. That's kind of like that's just my whole take on it, right? Because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
because I just believe overall, if you look at how many like, cause bro, like how many people that we know personally who are playing sports are like professional athletes? But we know a lot of people who like in fields and career path they are killing it. So
yeah.
overall
Mm-hmm.
for me, like what I look at is all about the probability. Yeah, like what's the probability of you succeeding at this area versus this other area? And for me, it's like it just makes more sense. Yeah, pursue sports. But at the end of the day, like learn about other shit too. Don't be that dumb dude who's just all about sports who don't know nothing else. Because there were a
Yeah.
lot of them at CSU. You know, it's like, bro, what the fuck, bro? We in fucking music class. And your ass don't even know. I feel like you asking me for the answers. Like, what are you doing here? Like,
Lock
you,
in.
you want to be well-rounded. Is the way of dying.
That's childish.
You want to be well-rounded, but that's what I believe, bro. Like, yeah, pursue sports, be dope, but also same time nowadays it's so easy to learn, bro. Like you said with AI technology, bro, you can learn anywhere. Like I can even argue, bro. Like you don't even need fucking college education to be educated nowadays, because you can learn at home. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wish we had all these shit that we have right now in college, bro. I wish we had Chat GPT in college. I wish we did.
Boy,
You know what I'm saying?
it's got to be
I
hard
would,
to be a professor now, bro. Like, how are you? You
it's
know what I mean? How are
hard.
you grading? You know what I mean?
How?
Like, it's yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, the crazy thing
we're
is
in a different space.
there's probably AI to check the AI. Like right
Right.
where it's just like you
Might be
you
easier to
can
be a professor,
you can
huh?
scrub something to like be like nah, like Chat GPT definitely wrote this, type shit. Like
Yeah,
there's probably AI to check the AI. Is what I'm saying.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also
yeah.
for the younger kids, bro, don't let your friends put you down. Oh, like, why you being smart now, man? Because at the end of the day, it's your life, bro. Like, do things that will make you better. Because at the end of the day, whoever is telling you, oh, you're being a nerd, I bet you 5, 6, 8 years from now, when they see you living a whole different life, they're going to be like, God damn, I wish I was doing that, bro. So,
Yeah,
like, all the young kids right now, if you're watching this, stay on your grind. Focus on
that's it.
school, bro. Like, being cool, like, you can still be cool and be smart. Like, just because you're smart doesn't mean you're not cool. Like we're all here. I think we're cool as fuck, and we're still smart. You can still do both, right? You don't have to be like a quote unquote nerd and just focus on schools and neglect everything else. You can be well rounded, right? You can be all about your academics and have friends and do all these things. You can make it work. You have time. So I feel like nowadays, like kids are like easily peer pressure and influenced by other kids.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
Hmm.
not cool. Or you're trying to be kind of, and that's why I was talking to my niece. I was like, she's 16. I was like, yeah, you're young, you're in school. At the end of the day, like, all your friends in high school right now, they're not going to be in your life 10, 12 years from now. Just very
It's
few.
hard to,
At the end
and
of the day,
it's hard to see that too. Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to see that.
yeah,
So don't just get peer pressure or influence. If they're doing something, if you don't want to do that, just to fit in. Now, most of the people right now, they're not going to be in your life. And then you're going to do things and regret. So do things that you want to do, not because your friends are doing that
yeah,
or you want to fit in. That's
yeah,
kind of like my advice I would get to the young
yeah,
kids out there, bro. Just
yeah.
do you, focus on you, man.
I was gonna say piggybacking off of that to anybody who's watching this, man, whether you're young or not, lock the fuck in, man. This is the
Yeah.
time to do it, right? There's gonna be moments and seasons in your life where it's okay to be selfish, right?
Right.
It's okay to lean into whatever it is, because in order to like make the dream a reality, it takes an like unparalleled type of effort, to
Right.
truly achieve greatness and to really make something out of nothing, right? And honestly, most of the time it's going to be a lonely journey, and that's not always the case, right?
Right.
Like to your point, DG, like you may have an abundant amount of friends right now, but the amount of people who are truly going to be in your corner and support you as you elevate to greatness, I guarantee you that circle is going to dwindle exponentially,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
you know. And so it's okay to just understand that not everybody's going to understand your vision. Not everybody's going to understand you as a person. And I can speak to it personally. Like it's not the greatest feeling to be misunderstood. Like I know oftentimes, you know, as human beings, we're just looking to be understood. And for the people who do understand you, that just makes you cherish those people even more because they get it, you know, right?
Right,
Um, but don't focus so much on what you don't have and the people that you don't have. Just lean into
right,
what you do have, and that alone will carry you to where you want to go. But
right.
just stay locked the fuck in, man. You know,
Yeah.
And just
um,
Facts.
to touch on that, bro, it's easier to be understood when you're being your real self.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's
The
it.
hardest thing in the world, if you acting like somebody else and people trying to understand the fake you, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
It's way easier to be understood when you being your real self. I just wanted to add that because
That
that was a
Okay.
good
bars.
point, bro.
And
Okay.
also too, bro, getting older, man, I realized like time is so important, bro. Like I'm glad that I have few great friends, cause I didn't die, bro. I don't have time to just hang out with people who I don't really give a fuck about, or we are not aligned. Not being honest, bro. No disrespect to people out there. Like for me, I'd rather just have few people that are
Yeah.
dope and hang out with than have like just fucking doing. Cause sometimes people invite me to places, bro. Like I'm just chilling, bro. I got shit to do. Like I know it's cool, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be out there. Like y'all just gonna be a waste of my time. You know, like what am I like? I don't want to do that. So I'd rather have just few dope friends than have all the acquaintances and people who are just up to bullshit. Like especially right now, like Z says,
Yeah.
lifting season, bro. Like if you don't have a goal and vision for yourself, I don't want to be part of that. I just want to be around people who are inspired, people who are trying to do dope shit. Like if you're talking about I want to make 1 million in 2 years, that's what I want to do. I want to get into great shape. That's what I want to do. I want to buy
Yeah.
real estate. That's what I want to do. But like, oh, like all these extra bullshit, bro. I don't have time for that right
Yeah.
now, bro. Like, cause
Agree.
we're not getting younger, bro. We're getting older. You know, like
That's
the things that we want is going to require way more of our time and focus. You
yeah.
know, like you said, you want to accomplish something of a greater magnitude, the work, the time, the grind you got to put into that thing, got to match whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And
Agree.
for me, and for us, the things we're trying to accomplish, bro, like we need people around us that are gonna like push when I'm tired, like, hey D, come
Yeah.
on, you got this shit, bro. Come on, keep working on that shit.
That's
Like,
it.
hey bro, this is what I'm working on. Like I just made a meal. Like those are the things I want to be. Those are the people I want to be around right now, man. I just someone talking about some broke shit right now. I
Yeah.
don't got time for that.
Yeah.
Abundance right now, bro. So time
Yeah.
to me right now is like so important. I'd rather stay home and read a book than go outside in the hookah lounge and just hang out with people just smoking hookah, not doing anything for 3 hours.
Agreed. Agreed. You know, to the quote of what you always say all the time, man. If you hang around the barber shop long enough, you gonna get a haircut. So
You
For
gonna get
real,
your
like
I
haircut.
for
say, I say, if you hang around some regular ass people, you're gonna end up doing some regular ass shit. So
real.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying
bro.
is, there's nothing wrong with regular. If that's what you want, great. But
Correct.
if you truly want greatness, if you know deep down in your heart that that's all you desire, and you can't
That's all I
stop
desire.
but like thinking about it all day and night, you
Right,
can't expect regular ass people to like to understand and to speak that life into, because it's just something that they can't even fathom, right? You know, like
fact.
um so that's why you got to surround yourself with greatness. You got to
Yeah,
surround yourself with people who speak life
right,
into you, who believe you, in you, and vice versa, right? It's very much like, I think I'm a big and very much a firm believer in reciprocity. You can't just like take without giving too. Like
right.
you gotta give support. You gotta like, all the people that
Fact.
you truly see wanting to be great, help uplift them too, right? Because we all
Right,
understand how difficult it is and how lonely it can get, right? And so yeah, I just want to say, because I know you always love to say that quote, man. But like,
right.
like I said, I mean, if you end up being in a room where like there's nothing but like epic ass people in there, I assure
Right.
you probably gonna end up getting into some epic ass
Facts.
conversations, gonna end up
Facts.
making some epic ass deals and doing it in some epic ass shit. Like if you just
Right.
continue to put yourself in those spaces, right? But like you can't just do regular shit and just
Right.
expect greatness to
Yeah.
happen, right?
Yeah. I'm done,
Um,
bro. Fuck that regular
but
stuff.
to that point too, though, like greatness does come from consistency, and so oftentimes like that that path looks like it is just like a lot of mundaneness, like, like,
Right.
right, where it's just like you're
Right.
not doing a whole lot, but it's because not everybody sees the process on the back end of things. So just keep
Right.
leaning into those things and doing it,
Right.
because at the end of the day, you're doing great things. It's
Right.
just the greatness hasn't been recognized yet, and
Right.
eventually it will, right, to the
Right.
point of, like, if you're building a business, right, there may not be there's certain aspects of it that aren't gonna be sexy, right, like, and so, like, you got to do the regular shit that in regards to that greatness, right, in
Right.
order to get there, right, and a lot of it is just the repetition of just, like, like, I think about it from, like, we're using the analogy of, like, sports, right, taking taking 10,000 jump shots. I don't know if there's necessarily anything great about that, right,
Right.
but it's just the ability to just keep doing it, right? Like,
Right.
at the end of the day, after those 10,000 shots, I guarantee you, you're going to be better at shooting than the person who only took 10 shots, right?
Facts.
That's the whole idea of greatness is you're putting the reps in, you're doing it over and over again. You're surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, who want to see you do great and whatnot. And all of a sudden, that recipe ends up formulating this fucking epic ass opportunity that comes out of nowhere. And yes, it's a little bit of luck, but
Right.
it all starts with you, man. And you got to
Right.
believe, and shout out to anybody who's really out there trying to get it, man, because this shit is not easy. But
Yeah.
I commend anybody out there who's trying to make something great out of themselves, man. It's
Yeah,
it's
bro.
it's a it's a
Facts.
lonely road.
I only want to hang out with the nerds, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Right now. No, bro, I'm dead serious, bro. I'm always like my connection, like it's not like people who are doing dope shit. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we can learn from each other, inspire one another. Like the connection I told you about. I met a dude from like in Atlanta yesterday. He's an entrepreneur, older guy. He was talking about options and all that stuff. He was like, "Yeah, I follow some EYL player right now, up 300%." Like, damn, that's dope. Later on this week, we are gonna connect. Talk about options, just talk about investment and all that. I told him what I got going on with the investment fund that I started for the business and just things like that, bro.
Yeah,
Like I want to be around people that can like inspire me, I can learn from and
yeah,
vice versa. They're getting the same thing, bro. I don't just want to be even when we was in Atlanta, we went to a club, bro, and I was like, man, I don't want to be here. Cause like, no disrespect, bro. Like right now, like my type of party, I want to be in this dope ass event after party that I can network. Oh, this dude
yeah,
like has a bigger, business and stuff like that.
yeah,
I don't just want to go out just to party and get drunk and get home and then have a hangover 2 3 days, bro. That's to
yeah,
me at this age, that's gonna lame.
yeah,
Maybe if we like make like okay, our business, the Spot Network generate like 20 million revenue. All right, we're gonna go out. We're gonna
yeah,
get fucked up because that's a
yeah.
huge milestone, bro. Just to do that on
Absolutely.
the weekends for nothing,
Yeah,
just because it's Friday.
yeah,
Like
it,
you haven't done anything, and you want to go and turn up all fucking Friday. Like you haven't accomplished anything all day. Not
yeah,
once in a while. Like I'm being too harsh. Life is fun. You should have fun. You should enjoy life. But for me, my type of fun right now at this point is different. Like
yeah,
there's certain things that I enjoy more than just like being out to the club. Is that what you like? If you want to go in the club every weekend and turn up, that's your money. Do that. But for me, that's not my vibe no more. Like where I want to be, like the future. Like Ramon said this before. Like start talking to your future self, that person you want to be. And
yeah,
that person that I envision in 5 years, he's not going to be the one that at the fucking club every Friday or Saturday trying to holler at girls and all that bullshit. Like my
yeah,
future
What about
self is
Sunday?
yeah.
maybe on Sunday. Maybe on Sunday. But like overall, man, that person I want to be, man, like I'm starting to like act like
Yeah,
that person, bro. Like
yeah,
become him right now.
yeah.
That's
And
kind
I'm
of
glad you brought that up, because, like, something else
like
that Ramon always talks about that I also wanted to quote him on is, like I referenced earlier, you don't want to be around regular people because you're gonna end up doing regular ass shit. You want to
right.
surround yourself with people who are great, because, like, when you do great things, it doesn't sound like bragging to them, And
Facts.
Ramon talks about it all the time, right? It's just
Facts,
like
bro.
when you're around great people who are just, like, constantly into some
Right.
dope shit, and you can share about those dope moments and shit like that. It doesn't sound like bragging, like, right? It's
Not
just
at
like,
all.
oh shit, like, that's lit, like, like, it's just, how can I learn, or how can I teach? Like, it's very much. Again, it's very much an exchange of
Hmm.
information, right? Whereas, like, if you're having conversations, just like you said, Ramon, earlier, is just like, if you're that brilliant mind, that genius, and you're trying to talk to like regular ass people, it's like, yeah, you might be a little awkward because it's just like, fam, if I just started sharing all the shit that I'm thinking in my head right now, it would overwhelm some people. Like they'd be like, fam, like I just asked how you was doing. I didn't ask for all that extra shit,
Right,
right? But when you get around people who are on that same frequency and operating at that same wavelength, and it's just like, man, like, I'm into this and I'm into that, and it's just like, man, like that shit is
it's
so
dope.
dope,
It feels
like
good, bro.
it feels
Yeah.
good to just like, because like I said, you're being understood. It's just like, man, I
Right,
get it. Like I think everyone's just searching for their people who just get it and understand. And
right,
oftentimes when you're in pursuit of something great, it's just like, damn, like sometimes it's like, to your point, Ramona, earlier, sometimes when you're younger, like you want to diminish like or you want to belittle like your intelligence because like you're just trying
right.
to
Hmm.
fit in. Same thing as when you're older, like it's just like
Yeah,
sometimes I belittle what it is that I want to talk about
yeah,
like around certain people because it's just
Yeah.
like I said, I don't want to overwhelm people or
right.
overstimulate them. And it's just
Oh, they're gonna
like
think you're bragging. They're gonna think
they
you're
gonna
being
think I'm
boastful.
bragging and shit like that. It's
Sure.
just like,
Show
For
up.
sure.
let me dial that shit back. Let me just, yeah, like, I'm just out here chilling, living the dream, right? Like it's just, if I told
Right,
somebody, like shit, I was just out in Sicily with my homie because he bought an investment property out there, and
right,
we was just in Rwanda like a month before that, like, and we honestly gonna get some investment property out there, and we run this travel business called Remote Escapes where we take people on like amazing
right,
adventures, like, and
right.
literally change their lives in real time. And I'm working on this dope ass R&B collab project that's like finna change the game, and they'd be like, shut up.
Yeah, you
Like,
know
what are
you're
you talking
bragging
about?
for real because they don't have a lot going on, bro. Because they don't have shit. All they do is go to no disrespect to the 9 to 5. Go to the 9 to 5, get home and fucking watch Netflix all day and be their meat. That's all they do.
You dumb as shit.
Of course. No, I'm being honest, bro. If I was in that situation, if I was in that position, maybe I might feel that way, bro. No, I'm being for
Yeah,
real. By the end of the
I
day, if you
might
have
hate
something
too.
going on, bro, like I might, by the end of the day, you might feel envious. By the end of the day, you got something else going on too, bro. You feel accomplished because now I want to learn more about that. Like, bro,
yeah,
tell me about Sicily. Next time you go there, I want to invest because I
yeah,
got shit going on too.
yeah,
By the end of the day, if you don't got shit going on, you feel like he's bragging. You're like, I
yeah,
don't like this dude. But
yeah,
people who are
It's
doing the same
hard to
shit, bro,
hate
they're
when you got
inspired.
it's
yeah,
hard to hate when you got your own shit going on.
yeah,
Right?
Facts.
Because like, it's almost just like a salute. And I think doers just see
Yup.
doers too. It's like
Right.
I
yeah,
see you got some dope shit going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually working on this too. And it's just like I see you. And I think what that is just the way that somebody ain't doing nothing sees it. Somebody that's grinding hard on theirs and then see somebody else they see, I know that took some hard work for you to do. I
hmm,
Right.
know it wasn't easy for you
Right.
to get the career
Right.
that you got, DG. I know it wasn't hard.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't easy for you to move to New York and, you know what I'm saying? Like start the new venture. And I know these things, they're not easy things to do. You know what I mean? So anybody who actually is working on something sometimes sees that other side. Like that
Right.
shit wasn't easy, bro. I see you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You grinded. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
yeah,
one of those things, you
yeah.
know?
It reminds me of Ramon's coworker, where whenever like Ramon comes back from a trip or something, he always be telling me, he's like, "Oh man, here go Ramon. He got something to say about like where'd you go now? Where'd you go? Oh,
Hey,
what'd you do on this trip? Okay, yeah, cool.
Here comes the humble flex. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, cause,
Here
cause
comes
he,
Ramon.
yeah,
Like,
cause he
all
had to
right,
work all day. Like, yeah,
And
I'll be
every time
mad
he tells
too.
me about that coworker, I'll be crying because I'm
I
just
was,
like,
I
nigga,
was, I
like,
was
That shit is
mad. I was
hilarious.
mad when you guys were in Uganda. I was, I mean, Rwanda. I was upset. And y'all
You
like,
was that dude.
bro, I was mad because I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I could have been there. So imagine, so who don't have access to that? They would be even mad, bro. Like, goddamn. Like,
yeah,
look at his snap. Like, nah, I don't know, bro. Because at the end of the day, man, being around people who are doing dope shit, it's just like whenever you share your goals and vision, they encourage you to work harder. When
yeah,
I'm talking to my homeboy, I make a couple meals this year. I'm like, damn, that's dope, bro. Like, I'm like, damn, if he can do that, if I get locked in, I can do that too. It's not coming from a place of envy. It's coming from a place of inspiration.
that's
Because you can,
it.
I feel like you can look at social media and other people's life, bro. You can like either be mad about it if someone posts your G wagon. You can be mad, but like, man, he being boastful, or you can be like, oh shit, if he can buy a G wagon too, like, if I grind, I can get whatever car I want. Because at the end of the day, like, he did something that worked, so you can do the same thing that will work for you. So
Yeah,
no need for you to envy that other person, bro. When you can like put in the work. But if you don't have any skill set, you don't have any motivation, anything, you're gonna be like, damn man, he's about you. Like now you're mad because you don't know how you're gonna get that. But
Yeah.
for us, bro, like we know, like, all right, if we wanted to, we can get that. It might be irresponsible right now, but if I really wanted the G wagon, I could buy that right now. It'll be stupid,
Yeah.
but you have that growth mindset, bro. You believe in yourself. You believe if you learn, if you do all X, Y, Z, you can get there. So you're not gonna go and envy that person. You're not gonna go and rob that person, bro, because you know you have whatever it takes to get there. And I think you portray a different energy once you know and believe in yourself. You have that confidence. You're not out here hating on other people because they're succeeding, bro. You are
Yeah.
inspired.
Yeah. I think
That's
we
a
just
fact.
recognize, man. I don't know if y'all can speak to it as well, but like I feel like I've just been reflecting on this a lot more in like the last year, 2 years. I just don't. I have no desire to be regular, bro. You know, like
Never. Yeah,
and
never. It's not gonna
and
happen.
and I'm not sitting here trying to like put myself or any of us on a pedestal and trying to belittle anyone else's situation. Like if you want to be regular, that's totally fine.
That's cool.
I just recognize in my life, I do not want to be regular. You know, right? I do
Facts.
not want a regular life. You know,
Absolutely.
I want to create change, like for myself, for the
Amen.
people around me, for my future
Man.
generations. And like, yeah, is that a lot of pressure that I put on myself and a lot of expectations? Absolutely.
That's
But
great.
anyone who accomplished anything great, it's not like they just showed up one day and was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just figure this out. No, like
Right.
I think there's always gonna be that weight that you carry on your shoulders, especially like, like Ramon and I, we were having a conversation about this the other day. It's just like when you're like, perceived as Superman, right? Like it's just like, man, you just got everything going on. Like, you
Right.
know, people may not be checking in on you, right? And like, you got a lot of weight on your shoulders and a lot of shit to figure out. And like, like you just literally just trying to figure it out day by day. But at the end of the day, like that's the reason why you have those broad ass shoulders, because it's like you are meant to
Exactly.
shoulder that load. You are the person who is meant to do that, and there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
Nothing
wrong
wrong with
with
that.
owning that greatness, owning the boldness within yourself, and just like
Right.
don't let anyone ever dim that light within you, man. That like it's just like,
Facts.
yeah, I understand. I talk to people about this all the time. I know that I put so much internal pressure on myself. I know that oftentimes it's not anyone else who's putting any pressure on me. It's all coming from myself. But at the end of the day, I know what I'm capable of. I know the expectations that I have for myself. I know the potential, and I have to see that through. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, is it a burden to a degree? Yeah, but like I mean, I think it's like also like what brings out the greatness within me, and what also allows me to help bring out the greatness in people around me, because it's just like, you know what, we're not we're not regular. We're not going to settle here
Right.
for like regular. We're going to be great, and
Amen.
either you get with it, or you get lost. One of the two,
Nah,
Or
I
say
feel you're I
get
feel
right
you're
or get
preaching,
left,
bro.
huh?
Get right. Amen, bro. Amen. Amen, bro. No, the same thing, man. Like, if you want to be regular, that's on you, bro. Like for us, see, I feel the same way, bro. Like when I'm at night, sometimes I be like, it's like let me say this. I'm so grateful for the life that I have right now, bro. Like I'm
Absolutely.
blessed for everything I have in my life, and life, the friendship, my relationship, God, my family. I'm blessed. I'm lucky, like, yeah, I have a good life. But like I just believe like the same thing is saying, see, I want more.
Mhm.
I want more, and I know that if I put in the work with some luck, whatever it is, I'm gonna get there. And for me, like I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get me to that next level. If you're okay with where you're at, that's dope. Thumbs up, right? Like we're not gonna sit here and be complaining like we want more and not do anything about it. That's who we are. Like, but if
Yeah,
you're somebody who complain like I
that
don't
part,
like where I'm living,
That's it.
that
It's
part.
that's
that's it.
the
That is it.
complaint, right? If you're complaining and then you're not doing anything, then just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like you don't want change. Cause
Yeah.
like for us, you gotta put in the work. Cause we're not out here complaining about, oh, I don't have that, and we just sit here and put our hands between our lap and not do anything. We actually put in the work. Cause
Yeah.
I believe, bro, success, like hard work, you need a little bit of luck, whatever you need, but you gotta be putting in the work to get lucky. Like for us, we want more, and we know what comes with more. It requires more work. Like if you're a CEO, you're gonna be doing way more than the person out of the janitor, right? Because you're more valuable to that company than the janitor. Because at the end of the day, you can get rid of that person and find someone else to do that job. But as a CEO, it's gonna take way more to get a new CEO. So for us, man,
Hmm.
we want more, and we're willing to put in the work. If you're okay with average, cool. That's your life. Yeah, be happy. For
Yeah.
us, we want more. So
Yeah.
we're gonna do way more to get to where we want to be.
And to your point, like I'm so glad you brought that up because like there's nothing wrong with the desire for more as long as like you're putting in the work. Like we understand
Right.
like it's not like we're biting off more than we can chew. We know what we're getting ourselves into and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But um for the people who are complaining without any execution, without trying to do anything, that's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
It's just like how are you going to complain if you're not applying yourself, if you're not
Right.
doing anything to change the circumstances? I think that's the biggest thing where it's just like you gotta implement something, right? You
Right.
can't just keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, right? Like you have to be adaptable. You have to figure it out on the fly. But I don't know, man. I was just talking to Ramon about this the other day, man. That's literally one of my biggest pet peeves is just when people just complain without no
Yeah.
action. Like, we talk about
See.
it all the time. Are you a problem creator or a problem solver? Which one
Right.
are we doing? Because like if you're just complaining just to bicker, it sounds like you're a problem creator. I'm a
Right.
problem solver. So like every time I hear somebody complaining, I'm just like, all right, but
Right.
like get to the point. Like where are we?
Right.
Where is the solution coming in at this point? Like, it's
Right.
just like I know some people just want to be heard sometimes. That's cool.
Right.
But what are you doing though? Like you
Right.
can say a lot, but are you doing anything? And
Right.
I think that's where, like a lot of people just we talk about being misunderstood. A lot of people aren't gonna resonate with that. And it is what it is.
And
At
it's
the end of the day,
okay. It's
it's
okay.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. You just can't. That just can't be the end of it, man. If that's, what I'm saying, if you can complain if you feel like it, but that
Right.
can't be the end of it. Don't make that the
Right.
end of the
Right.
thing, man. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
well, I
know
know we
my battery about to die, so we got.
can we get a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's
We
it's
can,
about it's about that time to wrap, anyways. So
yeah.
Yeah.
y'all got any final words, any closing remarks before we slide?
Yeah, my final words, man, is like being a nerd is not bad. If you're a young kid in school, you focus on your academics, and people are like, "Oh, you're being a nerd." Just block out the noise, man. Focus on your grind, focus on school. Because at the end of the day, being a nerd, focusing on school is going to give you a better life than just like out here being irresponsible. Even though being an adult, like for us too, like if you're, on your grind and people are like, man, you never go out, you think you're better than us. At the end of the day, it's your life, bro. You know what you want. If you think what you want, you're going to see out. Because everything I believe, bro, you got to sacrifice, bro. Everything is opportunity cost. Sometimes you got to give away certain things to get
Hmm.
something. You can have it all. The fact that I'm here in my car, I'm not somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? You can have it all. So you just gotta pick and choose what really matter to you, right? And you gotta make that sacrifice sometimes, bro. Because everything is a bet, bro. The fact that you're doing something, you're betting that thing is gonna work out.
Yeah.
Life is a bet, bro. If you invest in the stock, because so many stocks you can pick from. If you pick one stock or three stocks, you betting that those three stocks are better than the rest of the other companies out there. That's your bet. You might not know about it. If you don't do anything, you're betting that whatever decision that you are making is better than that. So you gotta pick whatever you do decide to do, man. And for me, it's like, like grind hard, bro. Make a difference in your life. Be that person that will change your generation. Work hard, stay focused. Nothing wrong with being a nerd. Nothing wrong with being intelligent. Sometimes people just use these words to like put you down. Whenever you're doing something, you're a puppet, and
Yeah.
people trying to like make you feel bad about your grind. Oh, you being a nerd. Oh, you being all that. Nah, just ignore the noise and stay locked in, bro. Locked in
So,
season.
Big facts, bro. People are gonna love or hate you regardless of what you do. So you might as well be you. That's my piece, man.
that's
They gonna
it.
love or hate any type of version that you are. So you might as well just be the real version of yourself because there's gonna be people then that can actually find you that actually do rock with the real you when you're the real you, man. Like I said, we talk about growth and just and building a lot because that's what we want to do. And if that's not what you want to do, that's fine. But you got to understand, for people that are trying to build and trying to solve problems, it's hard for us to just hear complaining with no action. It's just
Right.
hard because we like
Right.
anything. There's probably a million things we could complain about every single day, but
Right.
instead we're like, let's find the solution to it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And I think that's you just have to move like that, man. So be
Right.
yourself, be intelligent, man, and keep
Yeah,
working.
that's it,
Facts.
man.
Love it.
I don't have much else to add beyond that. I think y'all kind of checked off all the boxes and crossed all the T's and dotted the I's. But yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate what y'all just said, man. Don't be afraid to be great. Dare to be great. I think more than anything, like sometimes it's a lonely path, but just understand that like it's going to pay off in the long term, and
Right.
um, there's gonna be moments of being misunderstood.
Right.
Right? There's gonna be moments where you find, to Ramon's point, you find your tribe of people, whether that's one person, whether that's four people, whether that's 12. It doesn't matter. It's honestly just the people that make you feel like your best self, at all
Right.
times, man. Like, and it doesn't sound like you're bragging when you're doing dope shit amongst each other. They always, what was it? The best thing to do is do hard shit with dope people.
Yeah.
Is that what the quote was?
Yeah. Do hard
Um,
shit with dope people. Yeah. By
do hard shit
Tyler.
with dope
Yeah.
people, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
because when you do hard shit with dope people, it makes it a little bit easier, right
Right.
at the end of the day. So, find your tribe, be great, man. Be smart, be intelligent. Don't let anybody dim your light or your intelligence. People are
Yep.
definitely gonna try and bring you down to their level, but at the end of the man, at the end of the day, man, it's just a part of the game. It's a part of the journey. But salute to everybody who tapped in today, man. I'm glad we were able to get it in back to regular scheduled programming. Even DG and his whip, like we
Yeah.
still,
We
it
here.
don't matter, man. No excuses, man. We still here, man. I'm really glad we actually pivoted. This was a great conversation, so
Right.
I'm glad we were able
Yeah,
to like share about
well
this.
needed.
But for
Right.
everybody, man, be sure to follow us at the Spot Network Official on all socials. We'll be having conversations just like this every Monday. And please chime in. But if there's ever any suggestions for topics and whatnot, be sure to share those with us too, because we would love to, obviously spread some love and just open the conversation up to other people as well. But yeah, man.
Shout
I
out
mean,
to
that's
Invest
pretty much.
Fest. That's my last piece. Shout out to Invest Fest.
Shout out to
Let's go.
investors.
Let's go next year, man. Let's get a
Yeah.
nice little group and go next
Let's
year,
make it
man.
happen. Let's do
InvestFest
it.
Yeah.
2026, man. We there. We there. Shout out
Let's
to
do it.
So
EYL, man. They doing great things. They changing the narratives. Shout out to everybody we quoted, from like the Nipsey Hussles to the Jay-Z's to the LeBron James to the Barack Obamas, all the people who are out there doing great shit. You're capable of doing great shit too. You just got to stick to it, right? But we appreciate everybody tapping in, man. We'll be back next Monday. Y'all be blessed, man. Have a good week and keep manifesting, man.
All right,
yes,
fellas.
sir. All right,
Later.
y'all be great, man.
All right, y'all.
All right.